Welcome to Dental Success Beyond Chairside, the podcast that is dedicated to revolutionising the way dental professionals succeed beyond the dental chair. Join us for a unique blend of insightful interviews with industry experts and valuable tidbits of information to help you thrive in your dental specialist practice. In each 20-minute episode, we'll delve into a variety of topics, including HR, marketing, innovative techniques and systems, and AI, to help you transform your practice and unlock its full potential. Whether you're a dentist, specialist, or oral health therapist looking to enhance your practice, this podcast is your go-to resource for professional, personal, and profitable success. Get ready to go beyond the dental chair and discover what lies ahead in your practice journey with Dental Success Beyond Chairside. Did you know that the very first phone call to your practice can make or break a new patient consultation? That initial conversation is more than just a booking. It's the first impression, the first touch point, and the beginning of trust building with your practice. In today's episode, I'm joined once again by the gorgeous Julie Parker, co-founder of Dental Business Mastery and the first non-dentist to own a dental practice in Australia. Julie and her business partner Amina have developed a powerful new training video for their academy, focused on helping front office teams and practice managers elevate that critical first interaction. Julie, welcome back again.
Thank you so much for having me again, Michelle. It's so delightful to be here. And I have to say, yours is one of the podcasts I listen to every single week. So thank you for entertaining me every week as well.
No, well, I was just delighted to have you because I want you to tell us more about your journey and the work you're doing with this training video in particular.
Sure thing. Well, yes, I'm co-founder along with Amina, my buddy, Dental Business Mastery, and we are consultants and we go in to practices one-on-one and help them achieve their practice goals, like a lot of dental practice management consultants do. Additional things that we do, we have our flagship online course, which goes for 1 year for dental practice managers and dental practice owners on how to run a successful dental practice, how to be a successful dental practice manager. And we also can go out to practices anywhere in Australia and do workshops, which are always very effective. And nowadays, Michelle, I don't know if you're finding this as well, because of COVID, everybody started doing stuff online. Because everyone started doing stuff online for years, they've realised that it's not as impactful as in person. So more and more we're finding people saying, we don't want to do online. Don't give me a course to do. Come out on site and work with the team itself. Have you found that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the impact is generally more, even with us, with networking and things like that, like face-to-face is just so much better and you do get more out of it. I think sometimes when you're online, you just can sort of go, so you're actually learning more as well. So definitely.
Yeah, that's it. If you are still hooked in on doing a lot of online training, and sometimes this is a very good part, I should say not sometimes, all the time, this is a very good path to take. And that is our lunch and learns that we deliver through the academy. Getting time to be able to do team training is a huge challenge for most dental practices. The minute they have to shut their books down and get team members available, it is a very difficult challenge to overcome. Therefore, team training suffers. However, our lunch and learns are designed that you pay your team member or members for their lunch break. The first half of their lunch break, they're eating and watching the presentation, the training video. The second half, they're talking about how they can implement it into their practice. We've got over 100 training videos in the academy, plus extras as well. This year, we're actually launching our live coaching sessions, group coaching sessions every month for academy members as well, recognising that we love that in-person live stuff. This training video that you're talking about is the latest edition for our academy members.
So I got you one because obviously this whole series is about communication and there's different points of communication within any dental practice. And as I alluded to earlier, it's the first touch point for any new patient. Building that trust, understanding their needs is important because, as I said, it can make or break a new patient call. So can you tell me what you've learned and what you're showing sort of in this video about the importance of trust and communication and what receptionists, front office admin can do?
Yeah, absolutely. I think whether you're speaking to a very successful consultant, a very experienced consultant like Michelle, or any other consultant here in this country or overseas, they'll all agree that that receptionist answering the telephone, their communications and rapport building training is absolutely vital for your practice success. Just think of yourself as a consumer ringing up a local bed and breakfast or restaurant, and what you're looking for is a positive experience. If that is a very cold call, that you experience when you call these premises for the first time, you are likely to say, I think I might call a few more people until I settle on who I go to. Dental being medical and part of our health, it's even more important that we do, as you spoke about trust before, it's important that we start laying those first stages, the groundwork for a trusting relationship as well. So people are even more discerning when they're calling around for a dental practice that they want to help them out.
I feel like I've rung hundreds of practices. Have you found that can be a competitive advantage for your practice?
No question about it. We've called a lot of practices. We've also listened to a lot of call recordings as well. There are a few themes that recur over and over again. And one of the pieces of advice that we do tend to give is, if you're a receptionist on the front desk and you want to improve, if you are a practice owner and you want to create that environment of improvement for your receptionist, then start recording those phone calls. You don't have to be in a highly judgmental space of having an external party or the boss listening in. Just have the receptionist listen to themselves. It is amazing what we pick up. We're very self-critical. It's amazing what we pick up ourselves. I want to go through a few of the very common issues that we have found that once they are tackled, the improvement to that conversion rate for patients coming in is extraordinary, but also the experience of the receptionist, they walk away from these calls feeling like that they're far more confident, competent, more fulfilled by their role that they've played in the practice success.
I think for the patient as well, when everything's like fully explained and you just say, we're so looking forward to seeing you on this day. Have you got any other questions? And just them like, no, I think you've answered everything. So tell me about those pieces of gold that you've got, Julie. What are you going to share?
Number one is how we answer the phone, the energy that we bring to that call. The majority of the dental practices, their receptionist answers the calls beautifully. But what would it take just to be even more beautifully? That person who's ringing the premises gets a response from the person answering the phone, and I think, oh my God, I think I've called the right place. It is all about just increasing the level of energy and enthusiasm that we have when we answer the phone. If I was a receptionist sitting in your practice, Michelle, and you walked past and you heard me over the phone answer the call and say, "Good morning, dental practice, Julie speaking, how can I help you?" you would be totally satisfied with that, as most of our dental practice owners would be totally satisfied with that. And there's a good reason, because it's very satisfactory. It's very good. However, what if instead of answering the phone in that way, I'm using the same words, but I'm just increasing my energy and enthusiasm? It sounds more like this. "Good morning, dental practice, Julie speaking. How can I help you?" Man, that's even more delightful.
I love you, Julie. Honestly, you're just so gorgeous. I can just see your energy being brought in. But I think what you've said is so true. Nobody can see your body language, but they can hear. It's like having a smile on your face. I know some consultants that I've had in, they've said, put a mirror right by the phone. So when the phone rings, you smile and then you answer the phone, because that does come across in the phone call.
It really does. It really does. We want to try to get away from that way of answering the phone where it just sounds repeated. Oh, she does this 20 times, 50 times a day. Hello, dental surgery. Hello, dental. We want to make that patient feel a little bit more special, that, oh, she's delighted to hear from me. That's the very first thing, is just increase. Don't change the verbiage. Use your same script. Just increase the amount of energy and enthusiasm behind what you say. The second key is go slow. I've been with a client And there's been quite a bit of staff changeover, ownership changeover, quite a few things to explain to patients over the phone. You know, you're hearing different people over the phone, you're not seeing your regular dentist anymore. I've been doing a lot of calls with the reception team. And that combined with listening to a lot of recordings over the phone, you know, when I'm listening to recordings of receptionists, it really has come about so strongly to me the importance of going super slow. And you feel like at the end of that call that person understood everything that you say. We personally aren't a good judge of how we speak in often, because I remember being part of a Zoom session. It was a couple of years ago, and it was people from other parts of the globe as well. An American person who spoke English like me said to me, "Can you please speak slower? I can't understand your accent." I'm like, what? But it was a lovely reminder that we know that we're understandable, but maybe it's not the case with everybody else. On top of that, people have sometimes hearing difficulties, sometimes English is the second language, sometimes we're giving patients new information that they're not aware of. So I do encourage people, both when they're speaking to patients in the waiting room, in the surgery, but we're talking today about over the phone, go so slow that it starts to sound ridiculous to you. And it won't be ridiculous. What you will be doing is, number one, being so clear that the other person can hear you and understand you. But the minute you go slow, you're starting to choose your words more effectively. Therefore, you are adding a further element to being more understandable to the other person. You feel like it's going to sound silly, but when you are actually in that interaction with someone and you're going slow, you will feel like you're communicating far more effectively. On top of that, if the person has a question about what you're saying, you're not going so fast that they're kind of feeling like they're forced to wait till you take a breath to ask a question. You can hear them and their responses because you're giving the time for that, or they can jump in more effectively because you're providing that space to clarify details. So going slow is a big, big tip for managing phone calls. Even if you think you're understandable, go slow anyway.
That's a really good point, Julie, and one that I haven't actually even shared. So I've learned something from you today. And I know for me personally, I do speak very fast, and I have had to slow myself down. And I have been away and had quite a lot of Americans say, "Michelle speaks so fast, I can't understand her." So I totally get that.
We have so much to share.
We do have so much to share. Okay, so they're two pieces of gold. So a lovely, lively answering the phone and speaking slowly.
Yeah. And of course, getting the patient's name and using it, Michelle. Because
Love it.
Michelle,
That's the first thing I always say. May I have your name, please?
yeah. Also, when you're answering the call, dental surgery, say your name. It is interesting how many people don't actually introduce themselves over the phone, but it's so important. It's like step number one in rapport building, isn't it?
Absolutely, because whenever I ring anywhere, I always write that person's name down. I'll say, "Sorry, what did you say your name was?" Because I like using their name as well. My example that I always use, because people go, "Oh, what about a name?" And I always use this example. If there's a group picture and you're in that photo and you're looking at that picture, who do you look at first?
Yourself.
Exactly. People love to hear their name. And that is probably one of the biggest rapport builders that I think is you must do. You have to do that. It's just,
It's connection.
It is.
It's making that person feel important, especially if as you are moving through that telephone conversation, they've said they've had a terrible toothache or what have you. And you say, "Oh, Michelle, that sounds terrible. Tell me more about that."
Exactly.
It's connection, and it's different to what a lot of people are doing now. I think communications training is one of those crucial steps that you just assume that you're going to get better at over time. And we do, but we can just fast track that by honing in on it, recognizing what these key steps are, practice and repeat. And sometimes in the past when I've trained dental team members, they'll say, "That doesn't sound like me. I wouldn't say something like that." Well, you know what? Nothing felt like you when you had never done it before. The way you make it yours is by practice and repeat and tweaking it until it is yours. there is a beautiful way and some beautiful phrases that we can use during these telephone calls that can really bring home to that patient strong rapport. I've called the right place. I've got trust in these people already. And getting used to saying these things, it just takes practice. Sandy Roth, you know that I love Sandy Roth, a mentor of mine. Not that she knows about it, although I have emailed her. You are a mentor of mine. I have met her several times many years ago. But she's got recordings of herself. I listen to those recordings over and over again. It doesn't matter that I'm hearing the same stuff every now and over and again, because you learn new things every time. But it gets me in that communication mode, the verbiage that she uses, the sentences that she uses, and I find myself using them, and I find myself being able to communicate better because of it.
Absolutely. And I think part of that communication, that trust building, Julie, in that initial conversation is to just ask, can I ask why you called our practice today, is probably a great open question, because they can just then talk about themselves and you can actually learn a lot. Yeah. And do you think another really big thing in that initial consultation is listening?
Oh, yeah. We love interrupting people. Yeah, what you're saying is good, but what I've got to say is even better. It is golden to be able to say to a patient, tell me more about that, and just shutting up. Yeah. And letting that patient just say their bit. Now, I know that there might be some resistance around some of these conversations from the beautiful receptionists out there, because I know you've got 101 things to do and there's a patient at the front desk and there's this and there's that. I understand all of that. I think at some point, if you are placed on the reception and if the practice understands how crucial that role is to the general dental practice success, if you haven't got the time to manage these calls effectively, I think that's another conversation to have, isn't it?
Absolutely, 100%. And I was in a practice yesterday and the owner was just like, oh, she spends so long on the patient call. I go, well, it's a first interaction. It's the relationship building. It's important. And she goes, I go, yeah, we always spend sometimes 10, 12 minutes, maybe 15 sometimes. So yes, definitely a conversation. So Julie, is there anything that you haven't shared that you would like to share with our listeners with regard to the importance of that new patient call?
I don't have a huge amount of time, but triage questions and using the answers to those triage questions as a way of further connecting with patients is wonderful. Yes. As I said before, if they've said, I've got this terrible toothache. Oh, Michelle, tell me more about that. And then they say, oh, it kept me up last night. Oh, gosh, so you're tired as well. If anyone's interested in actually seeing that training video, very happy to send it out to anybody that's interested. Michelle, if you get any emails coming through, I'll send you through the link to the training video. Feel free to forward it on, because there is a lot of gold in that space. But I do encourage practice owners to see the role of receptionist as crucially important to your success, and the way they answer the phone as crucially important to the success, but also the satisfaction as receptionists that we can achieve in doing those calls really well is great fulfillment and enjoyment of going to work every day, jumping out of bed saying, you beauty, I get to make a difference to people's lives again, and make this normally difficult process of going to the dentist a little bit more enjoyable.
I totally agree with you 1%. As an employee and a manager at a practice, we did exactly that. We did have the script, but people started to own it. We recorded it. They could listen to themselves. It can make a treatment conversion. It can make a huge, big profitable for any practice. So definitely recommend it. Julie, you are so generous with choosing to give the video to people, but I would recommend your course as well to anyone. For more information about Julie, Amina, Dental Business Mastery, please look at our show notes. Thank you so much again, Julie. It's been a pleasure having you. I love talking to you, and I have learned some things today too. So thank you so much.
Beautiful, Michelle. Thank you.
In our next episode, we'll be talking about something that sits at the heart of every successful patient relationship: communication, and trust. I'll be joined by Dr. Sugs Mahalingam, a general dentist and communications strategist who helps dental professionals strengthen the way they connect with patients. With his background in clinical dentistry and persuasive psychology, Dr. Sugs understands what drives trust, engagement, and treatment acceptance. We'll be discussing how clinicians and practice owners can build patient relationships, help patients feel at ease, and communicate recommendations in a way that leads to greater understanding and confidence. Thanks for listening to Dental Success Beyond Chairside. See you next time.